Hello today. This is Razvan from Cognitive SEO, and we have Andrea Pernici, the co-founder of Search on Media Group and CTO and co-founder of Freebie Media. He's been working in the SEO field since the year 2005, and his field of expertise and experience is very, very wide, from web analytics to design, search marketing, technical matters, like coding and programming. Andrea, welcome to the Cognitive SEO Talks video podcast. Please share some of your thoughts with our audience.
Hi, Raz, and thank you for inviting me. I don't know. I'm waiting for
for a question from
yes.
I've known Andrea for a couple of years already. He's organizing some really interesting conferences in Italy related to the search engine optimization and search marketing field. And he's a very geeky guy. He's a very he knows a lot of technical stuff. So today I think we are going to talk about topics that are related to the more technical aspects of SEO. So Andrea, I know you also did some web design. You also do some writing. You also do consulting for and the implementation for SEO. What do you think? SEO nowadays is more about content design, or it's purely about spreading the news, pushing the pages to as many people as possible?
It really depends, but depends on the vertical you are in, the kind of website you have. Just to make some example, for a very big website where technical stuff can make a huge impact if solving also small things now, you can have a great impact also with simple technical stuff, because maybe sometimes big brands already have now a sort of a big audience, continuous link, so you really don't have to concentrate too much on the promotion side, because the company already have a good team on the promotion side. So as an CEO, you can concentrate on technical stuff. Sometimes the important part is on the IT side, no? So there are really a lot of things to consider. Also on the user experience or the design side, if you, for example, have a big product with mobile apps, with various websites, complex websites, you can make a difference improving the user experience, and without waste time maybe on other sides of web marketing, because in big companies you have various teams doing different stuff. On small website maybe you can concentrate on other side of SEO, and if you go on the news side, maybe newspapers or magazines or website that can push a lot with news using the new stuff of Google, pushing news higher and higher, also for brand search. There you need to teach the company to gain visibility using news and all the sales stuff needed to rank better for in topic keywords now. So I don't want to make a ranking of what's more important in SEO, because I think that based on the on each case, everything is important.
Okay, can you share? I know you're taking care of the Freebie Meteo website. And can you share an experience, the change that you made from a technical point of view that impacted highly the rankings of the site?
Yeah, one thing that in those cases for this very huge website with millions of users and millions of pages is on the performance side. Just to make some examples, something that is very considered and very impacted by response times in this case is the news side. For example, the carousel news you have for hand pages or the news in the news box. I tested with after moving to a CDN, to Cloudflare in this case, putting everything behind that, we saw a reduction of response time, and the response time got higher after moving. So during a 20 days period, we started to see a slowdown of crawling, of page scrolled per day. And after that, what's happened was that we start a progressive reduction of visibility inside in the news box. Because probably looking at logs, we saw that the Googlebot was accessing a lot the news part of the website, more than the most important pages that are weather related. But Google is very greedy of news articles, of the news parts, so it crawls a lot. If you reduce, for example, only of 10 milliseconds the response time, you obviously you are going to decrease a lot the capabilities of your website to be crawled, and that way you risk to reduce the rankings of the news part and all those stuff that needs to be accessed very highly with high frequency and to obtain always the fresh resources.
Okay.
So it's important also to calculate well the caching expire time, no? So we found a trick using a Stale-While Revalidate to always have a very fresh resource.
And when you moved to the CDN, you only moved images, or you also moved CSS files?
And also the HTML resources, because in that case the website is very particular. We don't need to have a always out of cache HTML page, because all the login stuff are client sides. So we can cache the backend side, the backend side on the edge or everywhere we want. For example, fast GGI cache on the server side. But that way we saw a slowdown and saw a decrease of the crawling rate, and accordingly the number of page scroll per day, causing in that case some issues. So now we're trying to fix that behavior with Cloudflare, but up to now we removed all the website part from the CDN in order to maintain a better response time.
Okay, interesting. Okay, there is a lot of content clutter in the digital marketing area. So a lot of people say and write a lot of stuff, tons of how-tos and guides. What are 3 professional pieces of advice that you'd offer to our listeners? What should people start focusing on today if they have a site, big or small?
Yeah, for a small website, it really depends to me which kind of audience you're gonna have. For example, for local activities, if you don't have a very high budget, I always suggest to start from small things and free things, like, for example, creating a local place business page now on Google, to try to use all the free stuff Google offer, and only with that part you can obtain a lot of conversion and a lot of return on your investment, no? Because the investment is very low. You create a good website, maybe a small website that can match your audience needs, and then to improve and promote your website, you can use all the free stuff you have. Just to make an example, I made a website for one of my friends, obviously for free because it's a friend, but just to make a test. He's a physiotherapist, and he finished the university, started to open his activities, and we created a small website, 5 or 6 pages, tracked everything, all the markup, technical stuff, the website fast, pictures, all the services he offers. And then we invested on the Google Place page, and he tried to incentivize people to leave reviews and those sort of stuff. And without spending a lot of money in creating website and promoting it with AdWords or Facebook or whatever you want, is now obtaining good conversion. Because obviously, if you are in a city, you don't know a good physiotherapist, or you don't have friends that know physiotherapists, where you search it is on Google, no? and on that side, you can obtain a good amount of traffic and conversion if you are in a quite big city. For bigger website, I always suggest to start from technical stuff, because it's like the foundation, no? of what you do. You can have a great PR team, you create great content, but if you have technical issues, you risk to reduce, no, the potential of all the other work you do. So with small changes, small tweaks, small improvement, sometimes you can obtain huge results, and you can let your good contents or all the job you do to promote yourself better. But yeah, everybody know how to do this, how to do that. Everybody writes, things, create good stuff, and it's obviously valuable, because at the end of the day, people search for resources, useful resources. So also creating good stuff is the basics of ranking something on search engine. But in terms of big website or those kind of stuff, the technical part is important in order to make your site accessible from the search engine and also from the users, And it depends a lot on where you work, because when I think about promotion and SEO, I don't only think on the website side of the things. Maybe you have mobile applications, maybe your target audience is somewhere else. So you need to understand where's your target audience, and maybe sometimes it's better to participate in some communities, for example. In the SEO world, it works, no? So you can try to engage, to let people see that you are knowledgeable, and sometimes not always the search engine is the best place to find your customer. But yes, we need to consider based on the kind of activities, and I also think that there are lots of area to promote using search engines also on the app stores, for example. I think that it's not for everybody, but if you have a big website and some kinds of product that works well on mobile, you can have huge advantages also in optimizing your apps integrated with your website, with all the SEO stuff that you can use on mobile, app indexing and all those kind of stuff.
Okay. With this, all this craziness around in the last days with the General Data Protection Regulations Act, and we have our inboxes full of terms and policies changes and a lot of emails about the GDPR. Do you think that the GDPR will have any impact on the SEO for a particular website, or no impact at all?
I don't think it will impact a lot. Here in Italy, maybe also you in Romania already be eaten by the cookie law.
Yeah.
I think it's on the technical side of the things is the same, no? Maybe now in America they're considering how to implement this notice and all those kind of stuff. Now we are on the same board of Americans, no?
Yeah, I saw sites from
before the GDPR. We have a disadvantage, no, against American website with all our pop-ups. Or now we are on the same level.
The thing is, for example, one thing that Google should take in consideration when crawling is that some sites will serve will block users from Europe. I already saw situations like this because I'm in Europe and I'm trying to visit a site in the United States. An image appears and they say that they block European visitors because of the GDPR. Google probably already applied some sort of fix to their indexation and crawling mechanisms. So they don't consider this cloaking or other a negative factor for a website.
I think this is interesting, maybe to see how the users behave in those cases. No, if for example this decision of the website blocking European searchers will lead to abandon the page, so exactly. bounce back to the SERP, or I don't think it's a very intelligent thing to do.
Yeah, but some sites did do this, and probably the end result will be that their rankings will drop, because if they have 20% of the visitors from Europe, 20% of the visitors from Google will abandon will bounce back, and they will send a signal practically to Google that the page is not relevant to them. This will lead to a drop in rankings, maybe overall universal, or maybe only in certain countries. We'll see how this might impact.
It's a curious thing to see in the future, but I hope they will change their behavior. Not only for the search engine, but maybe also and more for the user. Anyway, I think that they are right in some sense now, because GDPR, if you want to see my website, you need to accept this. It's perfectly legit, I think. Mm-hmm. But yes, maybe you need to consider some drawbacks of doing that.
Okay, what do you think are the top digital trends in 2008, and how do you think they will change in 2019?
Oh, I'm not that good in prediction. I think that the future trends will be to maybe change the names of something existing since 10, 15 years.
Okay, making fashion.
Transform it in a trend. I'm a little polemic about all the new stuff masqueraded with new names. Old stuff with new names can be the new trend of the next few years. Everybody are seeing, machine learning, artificial intelligence maybe is now becoming a thing. Mobile is already a thing since a lot of years, but every day and every new year is the new trend. But maybe yes, another thing that can go trend in the future is probably the usage of different devices, maybe without user interface, no vocal assistance or something. Yeah, it can become a trend. But I think that, for example, here in Europe, maybe in Italy, we're not still ready to consider it a trend. Maybe, yeah, it's the start of the curve, no? But yeah. I think that for some other 2 years, we will stay again with the mobile trend, no? Growing. We're not moving too far from that. A trend for sure will be the increase in progressive web apps, maybe, and the support of progressive web apps on all the various stores, all the various devices. Microsoft is already moving in that direction. Probably smart TVs will do the same, and maybe we will see some sort of movement in that side, and for better, because now I can make an example on Trebi Meteo. Developing lots of apps for lots of devices is often a waste of time, because you invest lots of money and lots of time in a product that will be used by 0.001% of all your audience. Now, but you are a big brand, you need to be everywhere, you need to create a product for every kind of device, but always it's a waste of money. And in that way, maybe the advancement of progressive web apps and web products can help a lot in creating better products for all the devices and all the use cases. I think it's something to look at with a very good perspective.
Okay, let's talk about off-page factors. What do you think, if you can share with our listeners, tip on how to best get some off-page signals to help us rank the sites better?
With off-site, you mean links?
Yeah.
Yeah, share.
Anything that's not on the site.
Well, yeah, my usually I'm not a fan of link building in the pure sense of it. I usually prefer to improve my products and let people love it. So in order to improve your product, you often need to change something on the user interface flow, on how the people use it. Sometimes you need to understand what's missing in your product and add it to your product. So the best off-site stuff that you can do is to understand which new audience you can reach, what you can do to improve things for your already established audience, and it really depends on the kind of products. Sometimes I think that link building is fundamental to in some niche, but my approach is usually to study the audience, what can be interesting for new audience and for already established audience, and improve things that I already have, or create something meaningful that now I don't have. And a good approach also to promote those kind of stuff is obviously to use your PR team or whatever else, but also using advertise can help improve your search engine rankings, in the sense that you put money to make your products or your new stuff visible. Then if your visible product is good, the rest will be done organically. So sometimes you need advertise to let be visible now immediately. Because obviously you cannot rank everything in a single day, no? So maybe you are very good in creating the good stuff, great stuff, but nobody will see it. It's impossible to rank it because I don't have a social audience. I don't have everything. What I can do is to spend money on advertising, no? And it's valuable also for small companies because often you don't need to have big budget to invest in promoting content. You can spend little money and make your content visible. If your content is good and it shines, then the word of mouth, the social sharings, blog talking about it, maybe some pushing on people you know can create, can put your content in a good ecosystem that will lead to the improvement of the content on search engines.
What about the tip for on-page optimization? So one tip that you think is everyone should do it, or something very important that can boost the rankings of a site?
Yeah, check your robot.txt first.
Okay.
No.
The basic stuff.
No, something that, also here, it really depends, no? On the kind of, I followed and created site of all kind of verticals, all kind of topic. Maybe on e-commerce, you can concentrate your effort to create on scale original and useful content. The same for listing website that for example, the hotel search or website that offer an hotel search or something similar, you are a sort of middleman, because Google is a search engine that sends traffic to your website that is a search engine, and you send the traffic to users. So Google maybe will bypass you in the future. So in that case, you need to concentrate on page factors that can create a better experience and look the website not so much like a search engine. So you need to improve all those pages that can give a better answer, a direct answer to the users without passing by category pages or listing pages, or and it's happened for this kind of website, but also for e-commerces. So I usually try to understand which are my contents. I suggest you to improve your database in the sense of structuring it in a way that can allow you to create good contents at scale. If you add a good data, you can manipulate it in tons of ways that can allow you to create good contents, original contents, without the needs to write 10,000 description by hand or something similar that is not always feasible. So I used to start from creating a good data set, a very structured data set that in the future can help you creating also better content at scale without spending too much effort or money on creating new and good content.
Okay, and now let's move from the tips to the mistakes that people usually make, digital marketers. What are the biggest mistakes that you think digital marketers and SEO professionals are doing nowadays?
I think that nowadays the one of the main mistakes I see is to think as a SEO, a search engine traffic, as the only thing to consider. You need to use the website in order to reach your audience and maybe transform this audience in your audience. Because I still see nowadays that a lot of company use the search engine to get only the one-time users. So it's not your user. You're searching for the search engine users without considering that you need to grow your audience. And that way you risk every day to be out of business, no? Because your only source of revenues or traffic is the search engine. Everything can happen, no? We see every day. They cover a niche, they monopolize something, hotel search, flight search, local packs, and those. So what we need...
The weather.
Also the weather, yeah. Because they wrap using weather.com. That is not good at all in Italy. But yeah, maybe in the future they will open up to the brand you prefer, no? Maybe on the Google weather app you will choose, I want to use the weather forecast of this brand. They use the API, but yes, I think this is a big mistake I see. And another mistake, is the part of ignoring totally some part of a SEO. Now maybe you think, okay, technical stuff doesn't matter, only concentrate on this. So you reason in to silos, but you need to consider everything overall on a holistic, how will Americans say, holistic view of a SEO and marketing in general. But yes, I think that sometimes we waste time sometimes also on technical stuff of two small things that doesn't make a difference. Because as a consultancy company, I can say the same. I see this on my stuff. Sometimes you suggest a company to fix a very small thing that won't have any impact, but cost a lot of money for the company to fix. So it doesn't make sense at all. You can live also without changing the name of an image, for example. No? So I think this is a big mistake, because look at the SEO not on a business perspective. You always need to tailor the consultancy or the suggestion, or also on the technical side of things, considering how much does it cost, how it impact the business, no?
Yeah, that's an impact score practically.
Yeah, the website grow. So we need to prioritize important things and sometimes discard all too small things that won't make any impact. And this is an error that I see always and always, also inside my staff. You need to consider the big picture.
Yeah, I think we always tend to become fixated with some modifications, some changes that we want to do, and if we don't have a clear impact score that you practically propose, sometimes we implement stuff for the sake of implementing.
Yeah, for the sake of being perfect, no?
Yeah, exactly.
But the search engines know how to deal with imperfection. So you need to prioritize what's really important in each case. We cannot reason, okay, always do that.
It's very tough one, and I think you in the weather space, it's a very competitive space. There, any small change on a page can impact the rankings. I think if you have big competitors.
On some sort of stuff, yes, it can. Small changes can impact a lot. Also, for example, removing a page can make an impact, because that page with millions of cities become millions of URLs less, no? So, and you can see the same difference on big website with millions of users when you, for example, reduce, for example, you move from gzip to Brotli for Chrome users. Chrome are 95% of the audience in Italy. So there you can see a very huge impact on the bandwidth consumption, on the download time. You see it immediately. If you go to your room data, real user monitoring data, you see immediately that you move from a higher bucket to a lower bucket. With millions of users, you can see things immediately. You modify small things, you see the results after 1 hour, 2 hours, and this is a very good thing for us technical guys. No, you see immediately the result. You made a test, 1 hour, 2 hours, you already have the result.
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
But this is great because you already have the users. But what about when you don't have the users, when you're beginning from, for example, when you started Freebie Meteor? How did you move from zero traffic to some traffic, and then how did you reach the numbers that you have now? How was the path? What were the biggest milestones that impacted the growth of the traffic?
The growth in those kind of niche, for sure the technical part is important, because at the beginning, if you see our growth 10 years ago, we were very low. Then you see also on SEMrush, you can see or somewhere slowly grow, no? And the big part is from search engine. So yeah, the technical part, how you structure your information. Obviously, you need to do good weather forecast. If your forecasts are very bad, users will fuck you up. So, so yeah, but the technical part is very important, because also if you don't have a lot of traffic, the volume of traffic are very high. So also a small, are not very well known website can have good amount of traffic.
Did any of the Google updates impact you negatively?
What?
Did any of the Google updates impact the website negatively? Drops in traffic?
Fortunately,
we only had increases in this last 10 years.
Fortunately, no update impacted us, because we always respected guidelines. So maybe we had difficult periods, because when you suggest to be honest and you see your competitors not being honest, ranking better than you, it's difficult to the management or to the company to let them believe in the fact that you need to be honest. They rank better than us, you know? But okay, keep calm. It takes time to become the first website in a competitive.
And by respecting all of the Google's guidelines, practically, did you see any positive impact?
No
rankings when they did some, I don't know, algorithm changes. Did you see spikes, or it was an incremental, small increments every day, every week, and so on? And so
yeah, what I saw in this case is that if I search for results in other search engines, for example, Bing, there I can see the difference. There I can see that Google is better in understanding what are you doing good, because the results are very different. On Bing, for example, you can see that maybe websites that are borderline tend to have a better ranking, no? On the Google side, results are a little bit different. You perceive that there is something better in it. Because I don't know. As I can say I don't know, but you see that Google is slowly going in the good direction. You always want to critique Google, okay, because everybody want to be the first, but you need to deserve to be the first. So it's a process that takes time, that and you need to build, really, you need to build trust in your users, and automatically also on the search engine. You need to respect the rules, to be calm, because you want to create a business that lasts. You don't want to create a business that can stop after 1 year or 2 years. Okay, if your objective is to make money fast, okay.
Yeah, depends on the niche.
But you cannot create a company on that assumption, no?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but one thing that for sure impacted is creating products for third parties. So with Weathers, you create products that also magazines, newspapers can use. So you share your brand voice, giving away good services for free, for example, and so there you can have more visibility in the web overall. So we're gonna respect the basis of the web, so linkage, and that way, yeah, you can promote your brand and creating services, useful services.
Yeah. How do you think Google is treating independent countries like, I don't know, Italy compared to the Google.com international version, or the United States, which is the main market for Google, and where we can see all the updates and where most of the users are? Do you think in Italy or in other countries Google is applying algorithms or is working in a different manner?
Honestly, I don't think so, because it won't scale, no? Google is all about scaling, and tailoring too much stuff for a single city or countries or whatever you want doesn't scale. I think the main objective of Google is, okay, to give better results, to give the best search results to the users, but is also to scale, because their business is all about scaling things. So algorithms, so everything. So maybe they want to take into account inside the algorithms how to manage different languages, different countries, also on a local basis. We often see here in Italy that search results changes if you are in Milan or Rome or Bologna, for example. If you search for generic terms in different places, you can see ranking changes not only in the local packs, but also in the organic search results. Because maybe, I suppose, they can also consider the brand search volumes on specific cities, maybe, usage behavior. I don't know, only guessing, but I think that they can use something similar to improve results. And the same they do also on the performance side, no? On some patents, they wrote that they consider the speed factor only when they see that the speed can make an impact, no? If slow connections or those kind of stuff. So maybe exaggerating, maybe they can change the search result because you are on a 2G connection and the first website load very slowly, is 5 megabytes weight, no? Mm-hmm. I'm exaggerating, but I think they can apply the same behavior to all kind of use cases. And if I were Google, I should have done this, no? I don't know how to say, but if it's your product, you would do, no? That, yeah. Improve stuff based on use cases.
Okay. What skills do you think an SEO should, an SEO professional, good SEO professional should have? What are the mandatory skills that every good SEO professional should have in your opinion?
Yeah, the best skill I think is for sure they need to always put themselves in discussion. You need to learn and relearn stuff. But the most important part is how you reason, how you see the big picture, and how your reasoning led you to. So you know stuff, okay? Maybe you know technical stuff, you know everything, but if you don't have the mindset to understand what's behind the thing you want to do, won't let you be a great SEO, because you need to understand the things you do. Often we tend to know technical stuff, but without understanding what's behind that. So maybe you're gonna make wrong assumption because you studied something and you remember what you read, but you need to understand. Now, like in mathematics, you can demonstrate a theorem, but if you don't know why you're demonstrating that here, why the things create no demonstration, you will never understand what are you doing. So I think that a very important part is to understand all the things that create what we call a SEO now, maybe, but it's more like knowing how the web works. And the other things is obviously problem solving, because if you do consultancy, maybe if you work on an in-house, you will have less possibilities to do that. But if you do consultancies for very different niches or topics or websites, you need to every day to study, to understand what happened in that situation. So you always need to face problems that you never faced, no? So you need to reason in a way that lets you understand what's the better solution or what you can do in a specific case. So flexibility, I think flexibility and the problem solving, and then at the end of the day, you need to be an intelligent person.
Okay. Okay, thank you for all the advices that you gave to our listeners today. I have a final question, which is like this. I think you've been a professional handball player. Am I right?
Yeah, I played in the first league here in Italy.
Oh, okay. So you've been a professional first league handball player. So if you weren't in SEO, what would you like to do? Sports or something different?
If I were not a SEO?
Yeah, if you wouldn't have been working in SEO, what would you like to do?
I'd like to write children books.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because I have two babies, like you know.
Yeah.
And I like a lot to draw, to play with them, to teach them, putting things in the garden, or creating plants. Yes.
Okay, so education
children's book writer can be a job I would like to do.
Cool. Okay, so you always know what you can do if SEO.
Yeah, exactly. I'm searching for my new job.
Okay. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, everyone. Subscribe to our podcast here on YouTube, and see you in the next episode. Thank you very much, and bye bye, everyone.